I want to just double back because you haven't been at this for long, and you left,
No.
a corporate job that you could potentially have been at for the rest of your life into retirement, and you just pushed it all aside. So talk to us
Yeah.
about what has your entrepreneurial journey been like, and maybe describe that a little bit.
Scary, fun. Uh, I could probably use a lot of words, but maybe I'll bring my wife in here and she can express what it's been like for her. But yeah, you mentioned it, man. I was in the higher ed space for 15 years. Was really lucky and blessed to be around that long and to get some promotions along the way. Um, but it's always been on my heart, especially the last 5 years or so that God was pushing me into a different world, and while things were comfortable and things, bills were getting paid and there was certainly a lot of security. I just had it on my heart that I really wanted to grow and start my own thing. And there was a journey in figuring out what that was even going to be. But once it hit me that youth sports was my passion, and this world started to illuminate itself, that's when the journey really began. And that's when I started having those tough conversations with my wife and said, hey, what do you think about me quitting my job and doing youth sports for a living? And I was waiting for her to hit me with the divorce line or kick me out of the house, but luckily she's been a trooper and amazing, and it's and we're right in the middle of it. There's
Yeah.
nothing is written yet. We're in the middle of the grind right now. There's a lot of work to be done. There are no promises. There's no guarantees that this is even going to work. But we're full steam ahead, brother.
So how would you, I mean, obviously that's a big thing. Entrepreneurs, it's a scary thing, right? You
No
leave
doubt.
that security of the paycheck, you leave I mean, just just even figuring out, okay, health insurance.
Yeah, no
Now I've got to
doubt.
navigate all that.
I think I called you for that. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
Appreciate
well,
it.
I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy, so I can pass that along. But I
Yeah.
mean, how do you navigate that fear?
What's funny is it's super ironic because I was lucky enough to be in leadership for a long time, but one of the things I used to tell people all the time was you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and I was saying that in terms of their jobs or helping students or whatever the teaching was. But as this journey started to unfold for me, and I started to think, can I actually leave this job, this incredible position, upper management, and actually do this? My own words started to hit me like a brick between the eyes, and and I started to understand that at a different level, man. And I started to look at all the people who are doing things that they're passionate about, and I started to read their stories about the very beginning, and it was never comfortable. It was
Yeah.
never easy. It was never promised or guaranteed. But the promise that if you don't do something and everything's staying the same, that if you want security, then stay where you're at, right? But I really, really spent a lot of time examining myself and understanding, is this fear because I don't think I can be successful, or is it just fear because I've never done it before and lack of preparation and lack of planning, And once I realized it was more about that, then I just sat down, put pen to paper, got some quality people around me to join me in this journey, and started to figure out what the plan would look like for me to eventually do this. And I can tell you that it took 12 months, right? It was literally
Mhm.
a year between the time of me saying I'm going to quit my job and me actually being ready to do that.
I think that's such an important lesson, though, because we hear the stories of people making the jump, right? And if you come in mid story and you hear your story, like, okay, he just quit his job that he could be at for a very long time, and now he's got his business up and running. They don't see that grind of, going to work and putting in a full day in corporate America and then coming
Yeah.
home and grinding it out till, the burning the candle at both
Yep.
ends, so to speak, right?
Yep.
So,
Exactly.
and more often, I think the strategy should be, hey, test your commitment level in the midst of your real job,
Yeah.
in the midst of that career, to where if you're not committed to even putting any time towards it, maybe you're really not that passionate about it.
Yep.
And maybe you don't have to, put it all in the middle of the table to find out that you're not that passionate about it, which I think a lot of people do.